Good morning, welcome back to Clear Lake Fishing TV. This morning we're up at one of the high mountain lakes. It's a really quiet, peaceful morning. Crystal clear water, about 60 degrees. Let's see if we can catch a few. That was a super soft bite. This water is crystal clear. I'm looking below me in 20 feet and seeing weeds. I want to cover some water real quick and put on a little swim bait. And I think if I go back to that Senko, I'm just going to wacky rig it. These weeds are pretty deep and I can just dance above it. I'm trying to swim this right above the weeds. I have a feeling they're all just hiding in these little pockets.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right, boys. It sound right, boys.
I've been up to this tiny lake a few times. And I mean a few, maybe 4 or 5. But 2 of those times, no joke, I had near-death experiences. I got maximum respect for this water. When I first got my Old Town Predator, I came up here. And it was mid-January, I believe. And a lot of the shoreline was froze over. I ended up paddling up a creek to get a picture of all the frozen water spray up on the rocks. It was really picturesque. I got my picture, and as I was turning the boat to go down the creek, I broadsided a rock and flipped the boat. And I tell you, it's no joke up here in these high mountain lakes. It is cold, cold, cold. As long as I was paddling, I was half okay. But I'd fatigue pretty quick because of that cold. And when I'd stop to rest, the shivers would set in really fast. It's pretty near hypothermic. Thankfully, I was able to take a jog back to the truck, and I had some dry clothes in there. Everything worked out. I came up the time after that, and I was pretty new to the GoPro scene. And I was just trying to get some cool footage since it's so clear up here. I ended up clamping the GoPro to the end of my paddle and submerging it. And I guess I didn't click in some of my mounting hardware hard enough. Needless to say, I had a brand new GoPro sink to the bottom. Now this little lake is about 100 feet deep. So I sat there in my kayak feeling like a damn fool. And I decided I would come back and retrieve my camera in the spring. So I triangulated my position with some landmarks, remembered where I was, and headed home with my tail between my legs. A few months later, I got my scuba gear ready and I studied up on diving high mountain lakes. And I came up here with a non-diving buddy. And we had our kayaks. I just swam off the shore, told my buddy where I was going to be, and down I went to retrieve my camera in about 95 feet of water. Well, it got dark once I hit about the 20-foot mark, and I hit that thermocline somewhere around the 30-foot mark. And I tell you, I felt every little compromised area of that wetsuit. That water was so cold it hurt. And as I descended into the dark, seeing nothing but what my flashlight would illuminate about a foot in front of me, I should have been smart enough to just abort the mission at that point. But I'm not often accused of being very smart. What I didn't anticipate was that the bottom of this lake is just pure muck and sludge. I mean, it was like that mud you step in and it just sucks the boot right off your foot, even though it was laced. Yeah, well, I got stuck in that. Now, what I lack in intelligence, I guess I do have in a level, calm head. And I kept my cool and got my bearings. I assessed the amount of air I had. And I figured it out. I won't bore you with all the details, but I'm here to tell the tale. But honestly, I think I was just lucky. I probably should have died up here. Needless to say, my GoPro is going to be a future primitive fossil for somebody at some point, when they crack it out of some sedimentary rock. So I have a very healthy respect for this little lake, if not a little bit of a lingering fear. So even though it is glass calm, I am wearing this life jacket all dang day, because the water's a little on the cold side. And I'm just going to give myself every advantage I can in case I go over. I've only rolled my kayak one time, and it was here. I don't plan to roll my kayak today or any other time, but nobody ever plans to do that, I guess. But like motorcycling, you dress for the slide, not the ride. And since if I'm more than 3 feet off the shore here, I'm going to be in about 20 feet of water, I have no chance of falling out of the boat and just standing up. I'm going to wear this PFD. Boy, I got all kinds of arches below me in 25 feet of water. Wow. See if I can figure out what those arches are. Pretty colors. Come here, bud. Yeah. Guess that's what those arches are. Oh, that feels like a better one. Oh, if he's not better, he's angrier. Oh, just angrier. Quick release. Well, you look exactly like what I was catching on my last Clear Lake trip. Right. Easy. Yeah, you're gonna grow up to be a monster someday, aren't you? Yes, I am. I'm gonna eat all the fish. This is exactly what I needed today. I just wrapped up a couple of really big projects. My whole body hurts. I've been doing long hour days. Sitting on a glass calm little lake up in the high mountains of southern Oregon is just good for you. creek that feeds this comes from a slightly larger lake. And back in the day, they used to stock it with trout via helicopter. They would hover above the water and just dump trout. And if they survived, well, there you go. Trout make a lot of sense to me up here just because it's so cold. But I know this little lake is full of bluegill. And I've caught decent bass in here. See if we can find them today. Well, I had no idea there were perch up here. Apparently he had no idea I was up here. So angry. Hey, handsome. All right. Where's your big sister? Is she a fatty? I want to meet her. Got some bubbles popping up 10 feet off the bow. What that could be is a fish moving around in the weeds. The weeds are starting to die off, and as they die off, they decay and off gas. Those little bubbles stick on the leaves. When a fish swims by and disturbs them, they end up rising up. So they can kind of tell you where they're at. Yep, there's a fish. Saw this guy come out of the weeds about 20 feet away to grab this. Oh, he done buried that in the bone. Savages. Hey, Dinkelman. Way bigger.
It sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.